Most people think they're living consciously. But if we're being honest, most people are just reacting. Reacting to notifications, reacting to news headlines, reacting to habits they never even chose. And the reason this matters is simple. You can't change a life you're not aware of. I've noticed something interesting. When I talk about the subconscious or awareness, a lot of people get uncomfortable, even people I love. And that tells me everything. Because awareness doesn't just change habits, it changes identity. The subconscious isn't evil, it's efficient. Its job is to automate behavior so you don't have to think about everything all day. The problem is, it doesn't care if the habit is helping you or hurting you. If something kept you emotionally safe for years, your subconscious will keep running it decades later. And when someone points that out, the ego, it steps in. Because awareness feels like an attack, not on behavior, on who you think you are. That's why people defend habits that are clearly holding them back. They're not defending the habit, they're defending the identity attached to it. Last summer, I kept asking one of my closest friends a simple question. What are you doing right now to become a better version of yourself? And his answer was always something like, I'm cleaning up the yard, I'm cutting firewood, I'm organizing my acreage. Now listen, none of that is bad, but here's what hit me. None of it was actually moving his life forward. It wasn't building leverage. It wasn't creating growth in any way. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was productive enough to feel good, but safe enough to avoid change. That's where a lot of people get stuck. They don't live with intention. They just find better ways to pass the time. Because most people treat time like a sedative, something to calm themselves with, something to fill. Intentional people treat time like currency. Once it's spent, it's gone. If you wouldn't light a $100 bill on fire, why would you burn 3 hours doing something that gives you nothing back? Busy doesn't mean intentional. And subconscious loves busy work because it avoids risk while creating the illusion of progress. When people think of distraction, they think of obvious things. But the most dangerous distractions are subtle. Cable TV on in the background, not even watching it, just the noise. Very little benefit with maximum harm. Scrolling social media, short form videos, endless stimulation. I get it. That subconscious loves this because it delivers dopamine without any effort. And I'll be honest, I used to listen to music all the time. Music feels amazing. But feeling amazing all day isn't personal growth. That's emotional management. Growth comes from discomfort first. So the reward actually means something when it arrives. Scrolling does something else that's even more dangerous. You're seeing everyone's highlight reel, and the subconscious doesn't know it's curated. So people start comparing their reel to someone else's edited life. And what does that create? Lack. And lack feeds fear. Every comparison pours fuel into the fear tank. Feeling behind, feeling late, feeling not enough. Fear doesn't stay abstract. It changes how you decide, how much risk to take, whether you create or just cope. And it's not just social media. Look at the news. War, violence, economic fear, cost of living going up, groceries getting more expensive. Some of it may be real, but being constantly immersed in it keeps your nervous system in survival mode. And here's the truth. You cannot create your future while your nervous system thinks it's under threat. People in survival mode don't build, they consume. Whether intentional or not, the result is the same. A fearful population is easier to manage than an empowered one. Fear turns creators into consumers. This isn't just mindset talk. There's something in the brain called the Reticular Activating System, the RAS. It's your brain's filter. It decides what you notice and what gets ignored. That's why when you buy a new vehicle, you suddenly see it everywhere. It was always there. You just weren't tuned into it. Here's the key though. The RAS doesn't care if something is true. It cares if it's familiar. If your RAS is trained on fear, you'll notice more reasons to be afraid. If it's trained on growth, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. This is what people call the law of attraction. Not wishful thinking, selective awareness. I'll give you a real example from my life. I've been intentionally feeding my mind with content around creation. Content creation, storytelling, transformation, and growth. Not casually, intentionally, every day. And something interesting happened. I started noticing videographers, noticing storytelling, noticing quality. Those people were always there. I just wasn't tuned to see them before. That's how Max showed up. Not because the universe dropped him into my life, but because my awareness changed. When you change what you're focused on, you change what you recognize. That's why I'm completely obsessed with what I feed my mind. Audiobooks, podcasts, learning aligned with who I'm becoming. But also, silence. Silence trains presence, and presence allows choice. I start my day with a gratitude prayer, not because life is perfect, but because it tunes my nervous system. And when I vibe in gratitude, my thoughts are better and more energetic. This guides me towards making better choices with my health. I eat better, everything. Breath work, meditation, I visualize my path forward. I take cold showers, not for toughness, but for calm. When you train calm in discomfort, chaos loses its power over you. This is huge for me considering I have 2 young boys. I don't rely on motivation. I rely on non-negotiables. You don't need to delete apps to become extreme. Just ask better questions. Before consuming anything, ask, does this make me more capable or more afraid? And once a day, give yourself an hour with no noise. No music, no TV, no scrolling. If that feels uncomfortable, that's the point. That's awareness coming back online. Awareness gives you choice. And choice gives you direction, gives your time meaning. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. You notice what you're training to see. Change the input, and your reality reorganizes. And if you've made it to this point, I know you're serious. Not too many people make it this far. Leave a fire emoji in the comments if you have the fire in you to make steps towards growth. If you want help training awareness and presence intentionally, that's exactly why I created the 7-Day Presence Protocol. An easy to follow system with tools such as guided meditations and the Presence Planner. This daily journal is digitally fillable and is a direct line to me. You don't have to do this alone. No fluff, no hype, just learning how to stop living on autopilot. Subscribe, please. We're just getting started here. No time like the presence.